I worked in this regional consulting firm for 6 years. I didn't start into some cushy executive role either. I started at the bottom, built my own client list, stayed late, handled disaster accounts nobody else wanted, and eventually became one of the company's top revenue producers. I trained new hires, fixed broken accounts, and brought in enough repeat business that clients were asking for me by name. That's when I met Ashley. She was a coworker in operations, smart, calm under pressure, and somehow still nice, even when everyone else was losing their minds. At first, we only talked about work. Then it turned into coffee runs, inside jokes during meetings, and staying late together on project deadlines. Before I even realized it, she had become the best part of my day. We fell in love slowly, and for a while, it felt simple. Just two people working in the same office, trying to keep it professional, while obviously caring way too much about each other. Then I found out who her father was, the CEO, and suddenly, everything made more sense. Why people treated her a little differently, why she kept parts of her personal life so private, why she looked nervous the first time I asked if she wanted to get dinner outside of work. She told me her dad was old school, controlling, and probably would not react well to her dating someone who started at the bottom of his company. She was right. When he found out, he didn't explode. That would have been easier. He did something worse. He smiled in public and disapproved in private. He made little comments about ambition, about status, about how office relationships complicate judgment. But Ashley didn't back down, and neither did I. We kept building our relationship, and eventually we got married despite her father's obvious hesitation. That's when his attitude toward me shifted from cold to personal. He was always subtle about it. At family dinners, he'd make little comments about how real providers take risks and build wealth. At work, he'd undermine me in meetings, question decisions he'd already approved, and give my wins to other people in the recap emails. My wife noticed it before I did. She kept telling me, "He wants you gone, and not just from the office." I thought she was overreacting. By then, I had spent years proving myself. I'd grown into one of the company's strongest people. I handled major clients, fixed damaged accounts, trained new hires, and became the guy managers called when something important was falling apart. I earned my place there, but to him, I was never a top performer. I was just the employee who married his daughter. At family dinners, he'd talk around me like I wasn't good enough for the life Ashley had grown up with. At work, he started questioning decisions he used to trust me with. He would undercut me in meetings, then act charming the second anyone else walked in. Ashley kept warning me that he wanted me out of both the office and the family. I thought maybe she was reading too much into it. Then one morning, I got called into the boardroom. HR was there, legal was there. My access had already been cut before I even sat down. He slid the termination papers across the table and said the company was moving in a different direction. Total lie. I had no write-ups, no warnings, nothing. Just a clean corporate setup designed to get rid of me fast. And then he leaned in and quietly said, "Now maybe Ashley will start thinking realistically." That was the moment I understood the whole plan. This wasn't about restructuring. It wasn't about performance. He thought if he humiliated me, took away my income, and made me look unstable, the marriage would start to crack. He thought pressure would make Ashley leave me for him to save. Instead, she chose me instantly. That same night, she told me he'd been trying to poison her against me for months, saying I married her for status, saying I'd never be able to provide for her, saying she'd made a mistake. Firing me was supposed to be the final push. For a couple weeks, I was wrecked, angry, embarrassed, scared. Then clients started calling. They weren't asking for the company, they were asking for me. One of them literally said, "If you ever start your own firm, call me first." So I did. I started small, tiny office, cheap desk, no safety net. Ashley helped with scheduling and billing, while I chased every contract I could find. It was brutal, but it was ours. Then former clients started signing. Then former employees started reaching out. Then the cracks in her father's company started showing. Deadlines slipped, good people left, his ego got louder while his business got weaker. Within a year, my firm was taking real market share from his, not because I sabotaged him, because he sabotaged himself. He was so focused on breaking me that he ignored the people and clients holding his company together. Then the board forced him out. The man who thought firing me would end my marriage ended up watching his daughter and me build a stronger life without him. And the craziest part is, all of it started with two coworkers falling in love while trying to get through ordinary office days. So tell me, was it ever really about protecting his daughter, or was he just furious that she chose someone he couldn't control?